Chosen one, stop. Right now. Put down whatever you're doing. This isn't another video that found you by accident. This is heaven's emergency broadcast, and it's burning through every algorithm, every coincidence, every random click to reach you. 3 hours ago, something happened in the courts of heaven that made the angels go silent. Your name came up, and what God said about you, what He revealed about your next 30 days, it shocked them. They've watched you for 70, 80, maybe 90 years, but what's coming? They didn't see it coming. Listen to me. I know where you are right now. Maybe you're alone in your living room, TV on mute, phone in tired hands. Maybe there's pill bottles on the table next to a half-empty glass of water. Maybe your children haven't called this week. Maybe you went to bed last night wondering if anyone would notice, if you just stopped waking up. You've survived wars, buried people you loved, watched your savings evaporate, felt your body betray you one joint at a time. You've lived through recessions, pandemics, divorces, funerals, and heartbreaks that would have killed weaker souls. And yet here you are, still breathing, still searching, still carrying that strange, unexplainable feeling that there's something more. Here's what heaven knows that you don't. You are not left over. You are not forgotten. You are not in God's waiting room, marking time until your number's called. 36 hours ago, in the throne room of the Almighty, your file was pulled, not reviewed, pulled, stamped, activated. And God said something so specific about you that the recording angels stopped writing. He said, "They think I'm done with them. Show them I'm just getting started. You're not here by accident. This message didn't find you. You were summoned." Heaven literally interrupted your scroll, your routine, your doubt, because what I'm about to tell you cannot wait another day. If your chest feels tight right now, if something ancient just stirred in your spirit, type "I'm listening" below, because what happens in the next 60 minutes will either change everything, or you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what you missed. You are not an interruption to God. Today, God interrupted everything else for you. Let me tell you where you're sitting right now. Maybe it's the same chair you've sat in for 20 years, the one with the armrest worn smooth from your hand. There's your Bible on the side table, pages dog-eared, edges frayed, some verses highlighted so many times the ink bled through. You used to open it every morning. Now some days you just look at it. The house is quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that presses against your eardrums like it's trying to remind you of everyone who used to fill this space. Your husband's coffee cup still sits in the cabinet. You can't bring yourself to throw it away. Or maybe it's your wife's sweater still hanging in the closet, and sometimes you swear you can still smell her perfume. The TV's on, volume at 17 because your hearing isn't what it used to be. You watch the news, another shooting, another scandal, another crisis, and you think, when did the world get so dark? You remember when neighbors knew each other's names, when a handshake meant something, when America felt like home. Your phone sits face up on the table, 3 days since your daughter called, 2 weeks since your son visited. They're busy, you tell yourself. They have their own lives. But late at night, when you can't sleep because your hip hurts or your mind won't stop racing, you wonder if they'd notice if you just stopped answering. There's a row of pill bottles by the kitchen sink. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You've become an expert at counting milligrams and managing side effects. Your medicine cabinet costs more than your grocery bill. The doctor appointments blend together: cardiology on Tuesday, arthritis specialist on Thursday, that thing you need to get checked that you keep putting off. Social Security hit your account last week. You did the math again. Rent, utilities, prescriptions, food. You're eating less so your grandkids can have birthday presents. You're keeping the heat at 62 in winter because you remember the Great Depression and you learned how to survive with less. But here's what breaks my heart. Here's the question I know you've whispered in the dark when you thought nobody was listening. God, did you forget about me? You've prayed prayers you don't even remember anymore. You've cried in the shower so your family wouldn't see. You've stood at the cemetery talking to stones because the people under them are the only ones who understand what you've lost. You've sat in church services feeling more alone in a crowd than you do in your empty house. Did I waste my life? You raised children who barely call. You worked 43 years at a job that gave you a gold watch and forgot your name at retirement. You saved and scraped and sacrificed, and now you're watching your savings drain away while pharmaceutical companies get richer and you get poorer. You gave everything to everyone, and now you wonder, what do I have left? Is this it for me now, just waiting to die? The world tells you to step aside, make room for the young. You're past your prime, your time is over. Even the church, the place that should celebrate your wisdom, seems more interested in attracting 20-somethings than honoring 70-somethings. You've been faithful for decades, and now you feel like furniture nobody notices anymore. You've walked through wars, recessions, the death of friends, the collapse of dreams. You've buried parents, siblings, sometimes even children. You've survived things that should have destroyed you. And now you're tired. Bone-deep tired. The kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. And somewhere along the way, heaven went quiet. Or so you thought. But let me tell you something that's going to shift everything you believe about your current season. While you thought you were sitting in the back of some dusty storage room in heaven, forgotten and set aside, God was actually preparing the operating room. While you felt abandoned, angels were being positioned. While you thought your story was ending, heaven was writing the chapter that would shock them all. You see, in Job 42:12, Scripture declares something that will shatter your despair. The Lord blessed the latter days of Job more than his beginning. The latter days, not the young days, not the strong days. The latter days, when Job had lost everything, when he was broken and confused, when his friends called him cursed. That's when God showed up with double. And right now, while you're sitting in that chair thinking God moved out, He's been doing something in the heavenly realm with your name written all over it. Something so specific, so personal, so powerful that when He revealed it to the angels, they went silent. Because you're not in the waiting room, beloved. You're not on God's back burner. You're not yesterday's news. You're about to discover why heaven had to stop everything. Every prayer being answered for someone else. Every miracle being prepared for another person. Every angel being dispatched to another assignment and redirect it all toward you. But first, you need to understand what you did that got heaven's attention. Let me take you somewhere you've never been. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this with me. There's a throne room, massive, ancient, older than galaxies. Angels moving like currents of light, carrying prayers that rise like smoke from every corner of America. Every hospital room, every kitchen table, every midnight cry from Brooklyn to Sacramento. Millions of requests ascending at once. Healing, provision, mercy, direction. The atmosphere hums with divine business. Heaven never sleeps, never stops. The machinery of eternity runs without pause. But then something happens. The king raises his hand. Not in anger, not in frustration, in precision. Like a conductor stopping an entire symphony with one deliberate gesture, everything freezes. The angels pause mid-flight. The prayers hang suspended in golden light. The very air in that throne room goes still. And in that stillness, that holy, terrible, beautiful stillness, God speaks one word. Your name, not your nickname. Not the name your grandchildren mispronounce. Your real name, the one written in His book before your mother ever felt you kick. The name He whispered over you when you were knit together in secret, when you were just cells and promise and destiny wrapped in flesh. He says your name, and every angel in that room turns to look. Now here's what you need to understand, chosen one. From where you're sitting right now, maybe in that worn recliner, maybe at your kitchen table with cold coffee, maybe in bed at 2 in the morning staring at the ceiling, your life looks like broken pieces, failed attempts, wasted years, a timeline of almosts and not quites and if-onlys. But from heaven's view, your life looks completely different. God doesn't see the mistakes you can't forgive yourself for. He sees the morning you woke up and chose to keep breathing when suicide whispered your name. He sees the $20 you gave that homeless vet in 1987 when you only had $40 to last the week. He sees every tear you cried that nobody else witnessed, every prayer you whispered while washing dishes, every time you bit your tongue instead of saying what would have destroyed your marriage. He sees the faithfulness nobody applauded, the sacrifices nobody noticed, the strength nobody credited. And lately, oh, beloved, this is why he stopped everything lately. He's been watching something else. He's been watching a thought take root in your mind, a sentence forming in your heart that you haven't even said out loud yet. I'm done. My life doesn't matter anymore. I'm just taking up space. The world's moved on without me. God's moved on without me. That thought, that sentence, that lie disguised as acceptance. Heaven heard it, and God said, no, absolutely not. Stop everything. I need to speak to them now. Do you understand what just happened? The creator of the universe, who holds galaxies in his palm, who knows the name of every star, who never sleeps and never gets tired, he interrupted the machinery of eternity because of one thought in your 78-year-old mind, one whisper of defeat in your spirit. That's how much you matter. That's how closely he's watching. Proverbs 15:3 says, "The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good." But it's not surveillance, dear one. It's not some cosmic security camera. It's attention. It's care. It's a father who knows when his child is about to believe a lie that will steal their last chapter. The angels froze because they know something you've forgotten. They've been watching you for decades. They saw you survive what should have killed you. They watched you get back up when staying down would have been easier. They witnessed your prayers in hospital waiting rooms, your worship through widow's grief, your giving when you had nothing left to give. And when God said he was about to reveal your assignment, your real assignment for these final years, the angels went silent. Because what he's prepared for you doesn't match your age, doesn't fit your circumstances, doesn't make logical sense. It makes God sense. Moses was 80 when the burning bush spoke. 80, social security age. And God said, now you're ready. Now I'll use you to deliver millions. Not at 30, at 80. Anna was 84, spending every day in the temple when baby Jesus arrived, and she became the first evangelist of the Messiah. 84, not retired, activated. You think God called you here today to comfort you in your decline? No, he called you here to commission you for your deployment. But here's what made the angels stare in shock. Here's what I'm about to reveal. It's not just that God has an assignment for you. It's what happens when you say yes to it. Type "that's me" if you felt your name in that throne room. Because what comes next, what God said after he called your name, it's going to shatter every limitation you've accepted about your final chapter. You want to know what made heaven go quiet? It wasn't your age. It wasn't your wrinkles, your medical bills, or the fact that you forgot your grandson's birthday last month. The angels have seen millions of humans grow old. They've watched empires crumble and generations fade. Age doesn't shock them. What shocked them was this. God looked at you 78 years old, sitting in that chair where your late husband used to sit, wondering if anyone would miss you if you were gone. And he said something that made every angel in the throne room stop mid-flight. He said, "I'm not finished with that one. Let me tell you something about angels that most preachers won't tell you. They don't understand grace the way you do. 1 Peter 1:12 says, "Angels long to look into the things of salvation. They watch it like spectators at a game they've never played. They see God's mercy, but they've never needed it. They witness forgiveness, but they've never tasted the desperation that comes before it." So, when God looks at a human being who's been beaten down by life, rejected by family, forgotten by society, dismissed as irrelevant, and then declares that person is still central to his plan, the angels don't have a category for that. It breaks their understanding of how kingdoms operate. You see, in every kingdom they know, when something gets old, it gets replaced. When a soldier can't fight anymore, they're retired. When a tool breaks, it's discarded. That's logic. That's efficiency. That's how empires work. But God's economy runs on something angels can't fully comprehend. Scandalous, illogical, relentless love. Here's what happened in heaven's war room when your name came up. God pulled your file, and listen to me carefully. Your file is thick. Every tear you cried at 2 a.m. when your body hurt so bad you couldn't sleep. Every time you stayed faithful when walking away would have been easier. Every prayer you whispered when your voice was the only sound in an empty house. Every moment you chose to believe when everything visible screamed that God had abandoned you. All of it recorded, witnessed, valued. And God said to the angels, "You see this one? The world calls them a burden. Their own children think they're slowing down, becoming a problem to manage. Society sees another social security number draining resources. But I see something else. I see someone I sent my son to die for. And I don't do that lightly." The room went silent, because angels know what Calvary cost. They watched Jesus sweat blood in Gethsemane. They saw the nails. They witnessed the darkness when God turned his face away from his own son. And they know that kind of sacrifice isn't wasted on people God considers disposable. You think you're just killing time until you die. God says you're carrying something he still needs delivered. You think your best years are behind you? Heaven says your most dangerous years are ahead, dangerous to the kingdom of darkness that's been lying to you about your worth. This is why the angels are in shock. God just told them to prepare something for you. Something that doesn't make sense for someone your age. Something that looks like promotion when the world handed you a pink slip. Something that feels like resurrection when you thought you were already in the grave. The prophet Joel wrote it down centuries ago. "Your old men shall dream dreams, not remembered dreams from when they were young. Shall dream," future tense, active, alive. God gives fresh vision to aged eyes because he knows something the world doesn't. The most powerful warriors are the ones who've already survived what should have killed them. But here's the part that's going to mess with your theology. The shock isn't about your sins. It's not about that affair in 1987, or that bankruptcy in 2003, or that relationship you destroyed, or that addiction you hid. God's not shocked by human failure. He's been cleaning that up since Eden. The shock is about his commitment, his refusal to give up, his insistence on pouring fresh oil into a lamp the world already threw away. Wall Street traders understand this. When a stock everyone wrote off suddenly spikes, the trading floor goes crazy. How? Why? Who saw this coming? That's heaven right now. Your life just flashed across eternity's screen with a value the angels didn't expect, and they're watching to see what happens next. So let me ask you something that matters more than you realize. If God himself is refusing to call you finished, why are you agreeing with the enemy's obituary? If the creator of the universe just activated your file for one more mission, why are you living like your story already ended? Say it out loud right now, even if your voice shakes. My life is not over. God, I receive that. Because, beloved, the angels aren't shocked at what you were. They're shocked at what God is about to do with what's left. And what's left? It's more than enough for the God who fed 5,000 with a kid's lunch. But I need to tell you something that's going to sound impossible. What God is preparing to release in your life in the next 30 days doesn't just affect you. It ripples backward through your bloodline and forward into generations you'll never meet. And that's where this gets dangerous to everything hell has built. You know what breaks my heart? It's when I meet people who've lived 70, 80, 90 years, and they whisper to me, "I don't think I made a difference. Nobody saw what I did. My life didn't matter." But here's what they don't know. Here's what heaven is about to show you right now. There's a vault in heaven, not made of stone or steel, but woven from light itself. Inside that vault are archives, millions upon millions of them, and somewhere in that endless collection, there's a section with your name on it, not your birth certificate name, your heaven name, the one God whispered over you before your mother even knew you were coming. Right now, as I speak these words, that archive is being pulled down. God is wiping the dust off scenes from your life that you thought disappeared into nothing. Moments you thought nobody noticed. Sacrifices you made in secret. Kindness you showed when you were running on empty yourself. Let me paint you a picture of what heaven has recorded. There's a scene from 1987. You're standing in your kitchen at 2 in the morning. Your daughter just called, drunk, crying, asking you to come get her from some party 40 minutes away. You had to work at 6. Your back was already killing you. But you got in that car. You drove through the dark. You brought her home. She never said thank you, not once. You thought that night evaporated into the past. Heaven kept it, frame by frame. The angels watched you choose love when you had every right to choose sleep. There's another scene. Sunday morning, 1995. You're sitting in the second pew from the back. The offering basket comes around. You pull out 2 $20 bills. That was your grocery money. That was the difference between eating decent that week or making do with what was left in the cupboard. You dropped it in anyway. Nobody saw. Nobody knew. Heaven recorded it. Matthew 6-4 says, "Your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly." That recording is in the vault. There's a darker scene, a harder one. It's the night after your husband's funeral. The house is too quiet. His chair is empty. His coffee cup is still in the sink because you can't bring yourself to wash it. You're sitting in the dark and you're talking to God through tears and you're saying, "I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to wake up tomorrow without him." You think that was just grief, just loneliness, just the harsh reality of getting old. But heaven sees something else. Heaven sees faithfulness. Heaven sees a soul that's been shattered but still reaches for God in the dark. Job 23:10 says, "When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold." That night, that was the furnace. And you're the gold. Here's what's wrecking me right now. Here's what I need you to understand before we go any further. Every single moment you thought was wasted, God treasured. Every sacrifice you made that nobody thanked you for, heaven applauded. Every time you kept going when quitting would have been easier, the angels leaned in closer because they were witnessing something rare. They were watching a human being choose faith over feelings. You prayed for your grandson for 23 years. 23 years. He's still out there doing God knows what, breaking your heart, making terrible choices. You think those prayers bounced off the ceiling and died. But Revelation 5-8 tells us that the prayers of the saints are kept in golden bowls before the throne of God. Your prayers aren't lost. They're stored. They're accumulating. They're about to be answered in ways that will leave you speechless. That time you forgave your sister, even though she never apologized for what she said at Thanksgiving in 2003? Heaven recorded it. That time you gave your coat to the homeless man outside the grocery store in December 2019? It's in the archive. That time you chose not to gossip when you had every juicy detail? Angels witnessed it. You thought nobody saw. Heaven recorded every frame. But here's where it gets urgent. Here's why God stopped everything to reach you today. There's one scene, one very recent scene, something you did in the last 72 hours that heaven keeps replaying. The angels keep watching it over and over, and every time they see it, they look at each other in wonder, because they're seeing something they rarely witness in humans your age. They're seeing someone who refuses to quit. God pointed to that scene and said, "That's why we need to talk to them. That's why I interrupted their day. They think they're finished. They think their best years are gone. They think nobody's watching anymore. But I see what they just did, and I'm about to show them that their faithfulness in secret is about to become their breakthrough in public. My quiet sacrifices were not wasted. Heaven has receipts, every single one of them. But the question burning in the throne room right now, the question the angels are waiting to see answered, is this. If God has been recording your faithfulness all these years, what is He about to release that required this level of testing? Now listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to break you open in the most beautiful way. Last week, maybe last night, maybe this very morning, you hit a wall. You were sitting at that kitchen table, weren't you? Bills spread out like accusations. Social security statement in one hand, calculator in the other, doing that math that never adds up. Rent or medication? Groceries or gas? The numbers mocking you after 70 years of working, of sacrificing, of doing everything right. And you whispered something. Maybe you didn't even realize you said it out loud, but you did. Lord, I can't do this anymore. Or maybe it was the mirror. You stood there brushing your teeth, and for just a second, you really looked at yourself. And the person staring back felt like a stranger. When did you get so old? When did your hands start shaking like that? When did your eyes start carrying that much sadness? Or maybe it was your phone, sitting there on a Sunday afternoon, silent as a tomb, your daughter too busy, your son screening your calls, grandkids you raised treating you like a chore, not a person. You're only needed when they want money or free babysitting. Otherwise, you're invisible. I know what happened next. You felt something rising in your chest. Something dark, something that whispered, "What's the point?" Nobody would even notice if you just stopped trying. But here's what heaven recorded. Here's what the angels witnessed. Here's what made God stop everything. You didn't curse. You didn't quit. You didn't slam that door shut. Instead, with a voice so small it barely made sound, you whispered one word: help. That's it. Not a sermon, not a performance, not even a proper prayer. Just, "Help me, Lord, please." And beloved, that tiny whisper hit the throne room of heaven like a thunderclap. Let me tell you what Psalm 34:18 says. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Not close to the strong, not close to the ones who have it all together. Close to the broken ones, the crushed ones, the ones hanging on by a thread. You think God was disappointed in your weakness? No, your fragility is what moved Him. Picture this. It's 3 a.m. in Manhattan. The whole city sprawled out below, millions of windows, millions of lives. Most of them dark, most of them given up, shut down, closed off. But then there's one window, just one, a single light still burning in a high-rise in the Bronx. One soul, still awake, still reaching, still believing even when everything says stop. That window was yours, and God saw it. He turned to the angels and said, "You see that? That one right there? That's the one we're going to move heaven and earth for." The angels looked at your file. They saw your age. your bank account, your medical history, your family situation, and they were confused. But Lord, they're so tired. They're so worn down. They're barely holding on. And God said something that made the entire throne room go silent. He said, "Exactly. That's why they're qualified. See, you thought your exhaustion disqualified you. You thought your struggle meant God had moved on. You thought your weakness was proof that you'd been forgotten. But 2 Corinthians 12:9 records the mystery. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Perfect. Not adequate, not acceptable. Perfect. Your weakness is not your problem. It's your portal. Now here's the part that's going to shift everything you thought you knew about your life. God didn't stop everything just to comfort you. He didn't interrupt the entire spiritual realm just to pat you on the head and say, there. No. He stopped everything to commission you. That moment when you whispered, "Help," instead of "goodbye," that wasn't surrender. That was selection. Heaven was testing to see if there was still a flicker. And when you proved there was, God said, "That's the one. That's my warrior. That's my chosen vessel for what I'm about to do." The angels were shocked because they know something you don't know yet. They know what's written in your file for the next 30 days. They know what doors are about to open. They know what restoration is coming. They know what vindication is being prepared. And when they saw your situation, when they saw how close you were to giving up, they couldn't believe God was still moving forward with the plan. But God said, "Watch what I do with broken things. Listen to me. It wasn't your big faith that moved God's heart. It wasn't your perfect prayers or your strong theology. It was that tiny, trembling, exhausted whisper, that last flicker of belief when everything said to blow it out." If this is you right now, if I'm describing your breaking point and your whisper, don't you dare stay silent. Type "I still believe" or "I'm still here" in the comments right now. That's not just a comment. That's you answering heaven's call. That's you telling God, "Yes, I'm the one with the light still on." Because what God is about to reveal next is going to explain why that moment, that whisper, that tiny faith was enough to activate something in heaven that's been waiting for decades. The question burning in the throne room right now is this: if God stopped everything for you, listen to me carefully, chosen one. There's a lie that's been playing on repeat in your mind for months, maybe years, and it's time we call it what it is. The enemy has been whispering, "You're done. You're in the way. Your time has passed. The world has moved on without you. You should just sit down, be quiet, and wait." That's not heaven's report. Let me ask you something that might sting. When did you start believing that retirement from work meant retirement from purpose? When did you decide that because your body slowed down, your calling shut down? When did you accept the world's definition of past your prime, as if God operates on the same schedule as Social Security? Here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. God is not stopping everything just to comfort you. He's stopping everything to commission you. You thought this was a pep talk? This is a deployment order. Think about Moses, 80 years old when God met him at that burning bush. 80. The man had spent 40 years as a prince, 40 years as a nobody shepherd in the middle of nowhere. And then God says, "Now you're ready. Now I'm sending you to face the most powerful man on earth and deliver an entire nation." Exodus 7:7 tells us Moses was 80 years old when he stood before Pharaoh. Not 20, not 30, 80. Or consider Anna the prophetess. Luke 2:36 says she was 84 years old, widowed, spending day and night in the temple. Everyone probably thought she was just a sweet old lady saying her prayers. But when Jesus walked through those doors as an infant, she was the first to recognize the Messiah and proclaim him to everyone waiting for redemption in Jerusalem. 84 years of preparation for one divine moment. Your age isn't your disqualification, it's your equipment. But here's where this gets personal. Here's where heaven's interruption becomes your activation. God isn't putting you back in the story as a footnote. He's repositioning you as a closing chapter that will leave people breathless. You've been sitting in what you thought were the bleachers, watching life happen around you, watching your grandchildren grow up through video calls, watching the news and feeling helpless, watching younger people make the same mistakes you made and wishing someone had warned you. But God is saying today, get up. You're not in the bleachers. You're being called back onto the field for the final, most powerful quarter of the game. And this quarter? This is where championships are won. Let me tell you what your assignment looks like. Because it's not what the world told you to expect, and it's not what your tired bones think they can handle, but it's what heaven has been preparing you for through every single battle you've survived. Your assignment is intercession, not just casual prayer, but warfare prayer. You've got time now that you didn't have when you were working 60-hour weeks. You've got wisdom that only comes from watching God prove himself faithful for 70, 80, 90 years. When you pray, demons tremble, not because of your eloquence, but because of your endurance. Your assignment is to be a voice of truth, not preaching from a pulpit, but speaking life in grocery store lines, in doctors' waiting rooms, in comment sections online where people are drowning in darkness. One word from someone who's walked with God for decades carries more weight than 1,000 sermons from someone who's only known him for a season. Your assignment is your testimony. That addiction you conquered 40 years ago, someone's fighting it right now. That marriage that almost ended but God saved it, someone's about to give up on theirs. That depression that nearly killed you in 1987, someone's sitting in that same pit tonight, wondering if they'll see tomorrow. The world says testimony is about what happened. God says testimony is about what's still happening through you. Psalm 92:14 declares, "They will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green." Fresh, green, not dried up, not finished, not archived in heaven's history books. You are not a has-been. You are a right-now weapon in God's hands. But I need you to understand something that's going to shake you. Your calling doesn't pause for retirement. It doesn't stop at widowing. It doesn't end with disability or diagnosis or disappointment. Your calling follows you into every season because it's not based on what you can do, it's based on who you are. And who are you? You're someone who survived what should have killed you. You're someone who kept faith when everyone else quit. You're someone who carries the proof that God keeps his promises even when it takes decades to see them. That makes you dangerous. That makes you essential. That makes you exactly what this generation needs. So here's your choice. You can keep believing the lie that you're just taking up space, waiting for your number to be called. Or you can accept what heaven just declared over your life. You are being re-enlisted for active duty. Right now, I need you to do something. In the comments, write these 5 words. Lord, I accept my assignment. You might not know exactly what it is yet. You might feel unqualified. You might think I'm talking to someone else. But if this message found you, you're exactly who God is calling. You're not a victim of your age. You're a veteran with a mission. And what I'm about to tell you next will show you exactly how God plans to pour supernatural strength, unexpected provision, and joy you thought was gone forever into this final quarter of your life. The quiet miracles God is setting in motion. Now listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to shift something fundamental in how you see the next 30 days of your life. You've been asking God for breakthrough, for provision, for relief from this crushing loneliness that sits in your chest like a stone. You've been praying the same prayer for months, maybe years, wondering if he's even listening anymore, wondering if you're just too old, too forgotten, too far down the list of people he's helping. But here's what heaven sees that you don't. God isn't planning one big miracle for you. He's orchestrating 1,000 quiet ones. Think about it like this. You know how the subway works in New York. You're standing on the platform and you just missed your train. The doors closed right in your face. And for a moment, you think you're stuck, you're late, you've lost your chance. But then something happens. That same train, it pulls back into the station, the doors open again, just for you. That's what God is doing in your life right now. The opportunities you thought you missed, the doors you watched slam shut, the relationships that fell apart, the health you thought was gone forever. God is pulling that train back into your station, not because you earned it, not because you're perfect, but because in heaven's economy, your latter days are supposed to be greater than your former days. Job 8-7 says it plain. Though your beginning was small, yet your latter end would increase abundantly. Your latter end, not your middle, not your prime, your latter end, right now, at your age. In this season when the world tells you to shrink, God says, I'm about to increase you. But you need to understand something crucial. This isn't going to look like what you've been expecting. You've been waiting for the lottery ticket. God's been preparing daily bread with interest. You've been looking for the $1 million miracle. He's been setting up $110 moments that will add up to more than you could have imagined. You've been praying for one big door. He's been installing windows throughout your entire house. Let me get specific, because vague hope doesn't feed hungry souls. Emotionally, that anxiety that wakes you up at 3 a.m., the one that rehearses every worst-case scenario, every medical bill you can't pay, every child who stopped calling God, is releasing a peace over your mind that won't make logical sense. Philippians 4-7 calls it the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. It doesn't need your circumstances to change first. It shows up in the middle of the storm. Spiritually, that numbness you felt when you try to pray, like your words are bouncing off the ceiling, that's about to crack wide open, because God doesn't measure your spiritual vitality by how loud your prayers sound. He measures it by how faithful you stayed when you felt nothing. And beloved, your faithfulness in the dry season just earned you access to the deep wells. Physically, I'm not going to stand here and promise you'll wake up tomorrow with the body you had at 30, but I am telling you that God is releasing supernatural strength into your bones, the kind of strength that lets you get up one more time, the kind that makes doctors scratch their heads. Isaiah 40-31 wasn't written for athletes. It was written for people exactly like you. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And practically, here's where I need you to listen close. God is about to open doors through small favors you weren't expecting. A phone call from someone you haven't heard from in years. An opportunity that doesn't make sense on paper, but carries his fingerprints all over it. A decision you're about to make that seems minor, but redirects your entire trajectory. Proverbs 16-9 says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." But here's the part most preachers won't tell you. Heaven is ready, but you've got to cooperate. You can't keep speaking death over yourself and expect life to show up. You can't keep rehearsing your limitations and expect breakthrough to knock on your door. You can't keep telling everyone who'll listen how broke you are, how sick you are, how alone you are, and then wonder why those realities keep showing up stronger. Your words are not just sounds, they're seeds. And you've been planting a garden of lack when God handed you seeds of abundance. So here's what changes today. Right now, you stop saying, "I'm too old," You start saying, my latter end is greater. You stop saying, nobody cares about me. You start saying, God is positioning people to recognize my value. You stop saying, I can't afford it. You start saying, my God supplies all my needs according to his riches in glory. This isn't positive thinking. This is spiritual warfare. You are agreeing with heaven's version of your story instead of hell's. And when you do that, when you align your mouth with his promises instead of your pain, the quiet miracles stop being quiet. They start compounding. They start multiplying. They start showing up so consistently that even you can't deny something supernatural is happening. But beloved, don't you dare leave this video yet, because there's one more truth you need to hear. One truth that will break the power of shame over your past and unlock the authority God's about to release in your future. And when you hear it, the angels aren't going to be the only ones in shock. Chosen one, we need to talk about something you've been carrying for decades. Something heavier than your arthritis, more exhausting than your insomnia, more crushing than any diagnosis you've ever received. I'm talking about that thing you did 40 years ago that still wakes you up at 3 a.m. That choice you made that you're convinced disqualified you from ever being used by God. That season of your life you've spent half a century trying to bury, deny, or outrun. Maybe it's how you raised your kids. You weren't the parent you should have been. Too angry, too absent, too broken yourself to give them what they needed. And now they're grown, scattered across 3 time zones, carrying wounds you can trace back to your kitchen table, your temper, your failures. You see it in their marriages, in how they parent their own children, and you whisper to yourself in the dark, this is my fault. I broke them. Maybe it's your marriage, the affair that almost destroyed everything, or the affair that did destroy everything, the words you can never take back, the years of coldness that turned a once warm home into a museum of resentment. Maybe you're sitting alone now because of choices you made when you were younger, angrier, more foolish. And the loneliness you feel isn't just circumstantial, it feels like punishment, like you're getting exactly what you deserve. Maybe it's darker than that. The abortion you had at 19 that no one knows about, the addiction that stole a decade of your life and hurt everyone who loved you, the lies you told to cover the lies you told, the business you destroyed through your own greed, the person you betrayed who trusted you most. You've been to church, you've heard about grace, you've sung Amazing Grace 1,000 times. But here's what you've never been able to shake: the feeling that God's grace covers everyone except you. That Jesus died for sinners, sure, but not for what you did. Not for someone who knew better and did it anyway. Let me tell you something that's going to cut through every lie you've believed about yourself. When God looked at you and called you chosen, he wasn't looking at a highlight reel of your good moments. He saw the whole tape, every frame, every scene you wish you could delete, every chapter you've tried to rip out of your story. He saw it all, and he still stamped your file mine. Romans 5:8 says it plainly, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Not after you cleaned up, not after you got it together. While you were still sinning, while you were still broken, while you were still making the very mistakes you can't forgive yourself for. Here's what you don't understand about the cross. When Christ hung there, bleeding between 2 thieves, he wasn't dying in ignorance of your failures. He was dying because of them. He saw your entire story, past, present, future, and he said, "This one is worth my blood." The cross wasn't plan B after you messed up plan A. The cross was always the plan, because God knew exactly who you'd be, what you'd do, and how broken you'd feel about it. And he called you chosen anyway. You're standing in a courtroom where the judge has already stamped paid in full on your file, but you keep standing there wearing handcuffs that aren't even locked anymore. The door's open, The sentence has been served, but you won't walk out because you don't believe you deserve freedom. Listen to me carefully. Your shame is not humility. Your self-punishment is not holiness. Your refusal to accept God's forgiveness isn't honoring Him. It's calling His sacrifice insufficient. 1 John 1-9 promises, "If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness." All unrighteousness, not some, not the easy ones, not the socially acceptable sins that don't make people uncomfortable at potlucks, all of it. That thing you did that you think is unforgivable, Jesus thought it was forgivable enough to die for. That mistake you think disqualified you, God looked at it and said, "My grace is bigger." Right now, I want you to do something. Think about that one thing, that specific regret, that particular shame, that memory that makes you feel dirty even decades later. I want you to mentally take it in your hands. Feel the weight of it. Acknowledge how long you've been carrying it. Now I want you to picture yourself walking to the foot of a wooden cross, still stained with blood that was shed 2,000 years ago, but somehow feels fresh today. And I want you to lay it down. That regret, that shame, that self-hatred, lay it at the foot of the cross and leave it there. Because here's what heaven is declaring over you right now. You are not your worst mistake. You are not defined by your darkest season. You are not the sum of your regrets. You are chosen, called, claimed by the blood of Jesus Christ, and what He paid for. No amount of your self-punishment can add to or improve upon. If you're ready, truly ready, to stop punishing yourself for what God has already forgiven, I need you to do something that might feel impossible. Type one word in the comments: free. Not for me. Not for anyone else. That's for your own soul to hear you finally say it out loud. Because, beloved, you cannot step into what God has next for you while you're still chained to what He's already forgiven. But here's the question that will determine whether this moment becomes your breakthrough or just another sermon you heard. Will you finally believe that heaven's verdict matters more than your own? Beloved, do you understand what just happened here? God stopped everything. The angels looked at each other in shock. Your name came up in the courts of heaven, and the Almighty said, "They think I'm done with them. Show them I'm just getting started." You are not forgotten. You are not finished. You are not disqualified by your age, your mistakes, your pain, or the years you think you wasted. God interrupted your day, your scroll, your despair to tell you one thing: your story is not over. But knowing this in your head and receiving it in your heart are two different things. So right now, wherever you are, I want you to close your eyes. Put your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm is proof that God is not done writing your chapters. Let me pray over you. Not a religious prayer, a prayer that breaks chains. Father God, I come before you right now with every precious soul hearing my voice. Lord, they're tired, their bones ache, their bank accounts are thin, their children don't call enough, their bodies are betraying them. They go to bed wondering if anyone would notice if they just stopped waking up. But God, you stopped everything today to say their name. You pulled their file. You activated their assignment. So I'm asking you now, break the spirit of despair off their lives. Shatter the lie that says they're too old, too late, too broken. Touch their minds right now. Heal the anxiety that wakes them at 3 a.m. Silence the voices that whisper, "You're worthless." Replace every thought of suicide with supernatural hope. Touch their bodies. Where there is pain, release your healing. Where there is sickness, command restoration. Where doctors say there's nothing we can do, remind them that you specialize in impossible cases. Psalm 103:3 says, "You heal all our diseases, not some, all." Touch their finances. God, They've been faithful with their tithes even when the checkbook was empty. They've given when they had nothing. Now I'm asking you to open windows of heaven they cannot contain. Malachi 3:10 is still in the Bible. Pour out blessing until there's no room left to receive it. Touch their families. Bring the prodigal children home. Restore the relationships that feel dead. Let this generation see what happens when you honor the prayers of faithful elders. Let their latter days be greater than their former. And God, give them one more assignment, one more reason to wake up tomorrow, one more divine appointment, one more soul to touch, one more testimony to birth. Because you don't keep people alive just to exist. You keep them alive to fulfill purpose. Now, chosen one, I want you to say these words with me, out loud. Even if your voice shakes, especially if your voice shakes, say, my story is not over. Say it again, my story is not over. Now say, God still has plans for me. One more time, God still has plans for me. And finally, declare this. I am chosen, even now, even at this age, even with these scars. I am chosen. Do you feel that? That weight lifting off your chest? That's not emotion, that's deliverance. That's the spirit of despair breaking. That's heaven confirming what I've been telling you. God stopped everything because you matter. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Notice it doesn't say, plans I had. It says, plans I have, present tense, active, alive. Right now, your future isn't behind you, it's in front of you. And what God is about to do in your next season will silence every voice that said you were finished. But here's what I need you to understand. This isn't the last time heaven will meet you like this. There are other messages God is stirring in my heart, specifically for people like you, people who've been counted out but refuse to be counted down. You don't have to walk this late season journey alone. If this was for you, if you felt God speak directly to your situation, I need you to do something right now. Go to the comments and write these 5 words. God stopped everything for me. Don't think about it. Just do it. Because when someone else who feels forgotten reads your comment, it will preach to them. Your declaration becomes their confirmation. And if you felt God in this room with you, don't walk away alone. Hit that subscribe button. Join this family of chosen ones who understand what it means to carry purpose past retirement age. We're building something here, a community of warriors who refuse to fade quietly. One more thing. If you know someone older who feels forgotten, someone tired, someone who's given up, send this to them. Let this be heaven's way of reaching them through you. You might be the angel God sends to interrupt their despair. Listen to me one last time, dear one. God didn't stop everything because you're perfect. He stopped everything because in His eyes, you've always been worth it. Your wrinkles are wisdom. Your scars are testimony. Your age is your authority. The angels are watching what happens next. Hell is nervous about what you're about to become. And heaven is cheering because they know something you're just now remembering. You were never supposed to fade. You were always supposed to finish strong. Chosen one. This is why God stopped everything. Because you were always worth it.